Why did Daredevil go to the bowling alley? Because he was looking for the Kingpin. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel today for Comic Book Editions Volume 115. This past weekend I had the chance to meet my very first member of the YouTube comic book community, which was really exciting. Before I talk about that experience and share with you some of the books I picked up at this comic show, I want to show you a recent cover incentive that was released for the Artemis Wanted one-shot. This is a 1 in 25 cover that was done by Becky Cloonan. So the Artemis one-shot is kind of a post story to the Trial of the Amazon series. And as I've said on my channel before, Trial of the Amazons started out pretty good, but then I really thought the event lost focus, which was kind of disappointing. And then when I saw what they had done to Artemis during that, I thought there's no way they're going to keep her a villain. And this one-shot did exactly what I thought they were going to do, much to my dismay, I should add. They essentially make it so, oh no, she's not a villain after all. She had a motive for what she did during Trial of the Amazons. That was hugely disappointing for me. It kind of made me think, then what was the point of doing Trial in the Amazons when you just, a couple months later undo what was done in a sense. So kind of a very lame cop-out excuse not to make her a villain anymore. And kind of unbelievable as well that all the other Amazons, just accepted it for what it was without there being any fallout from it. So a little disappointed in the story. I like Artemis, though. I've been a fan of this character since she first appeared in Volume 2. And, she at one time was Wonder Woman. So in Trial of Artemis storyline, which was really good storyline. So, the completist in me has to have this. But the story was a little more disappointing. Never disappointed in Becky Cloonan, though. She's awesome. I enjoy her artwork, but I especially enjoy her writing. So I wanted to show off this recent cover incentive to get this Comic Book Editions video started today. So this past weekend, there was a brand new comic show in Madison, Wisconsin, and I decided, what the heck, let's go check it out. So the event was the Comicverse Comic Convention and Toy Show, which was held at the Sheraton Hotel in Madison, Wisconsin. As you can see from this video, it essentially is just a bunch of dealers that are set up inside of a hotel conference room or a ballroom. There was about an equal amount of toy vendors as there was comic book vendors. And there were many of the same vendors that I've come to expect that I've gotten some fantastic books from in the past showing at this show. So I knew I wouldn't be disappointed with what these vendors were bringing. I call this a comic show because it's not like a typical convention. There was very minimal cosplay. I mean, I did see someone dressed as Raven, but cosplay was few and far between. There weren't panels. There weren't celebrity guests. It was just a bunch of people who had items to sell, some vendors that had items to sell, sharing that with people that were interested in buying those type of items. As I said earlier in the video, I had the chance to meet a member of the YouTube comic book community, which was the primary reason why I wanted to go to this event. Although it didn't stop me from finding some books and some take-homes, which I'm going to share with you in just a few moments. All in all, though, I had a really good time. It was nice connecting with some folks, like some vendors that I only get to see at these shows, plus meeting someone from the YouTube comic book community, a true highlight. So in today's video, I decided to break my haul into two parts. And in today's part, for the remainder of this video, I think I'm going to show you the Marvel Comics books that I picked up from this comic show this past weekend. Let's get started. So here we have Captain Marvel Volume 1, issue number 38. You might recently remember me saying, because I received a very generous AOK from Old Wolf 65, Tony, and he sent me Captain Marvel Volume 1, issue number 2, because he knew and had heard me say that, I don't have a lot of Captain Marvel Volume 1 in my collection, which was a shame because everything that I have and everything I read of him, I really enjoy. So I had the opportunity to add some more books from Volume 1 into my collection, and I took it. By the way, any of the prices that you happen to see on these stickers, that wasn't the price. Everything was 50% off. So issue 38 was a no-brainer that I wanted to pick up for the funsies of it. Here's issue number 44 from Volume 1. You're going to see a lot of great Al Milgrom covers on these Captain Marvels that I'm showing you. I think before I went to this con, I had 4 Captain Marvel Volume 1 comic books in my collection, one of which was a top 12 goal list for 2022 that I was able to complete a few months back. Well, I certainly doubled the 4 that were already in my collection with what I'm going to be showing you. This is a cool cover. I like this one. Here's issue number 45. Of course, Rick Jones co-starring with Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, in these issues. Still only 25 cents. Can't beat that. Do you have any Captain Marvel Volume 1 comic books in your collection? And if so, do you enjoy them? Make sure to leave me a comment below. Also, with all of the covers I'm showing in today's video, I'd love to know which one ends up being your personal favorite. Let's turn now to issue number 46. Another pickup from this past weekend. Here's that uncomfortable stare people tease me about sometimes in the private chats. They're like, Lasso just stares at you through the camera while he holds the books up. I'm living in the moment. I realize it's happening as it's happening. Got a little mini run going as I'm showing you. Here's issue number 47. So I have one more Volume 1 Captain Marvel book to share with you before we turn to some other books that I picked up. And this one is probably the cover that I like the best out of the covers that I'm showing you in today's video of Captain Marvel. This is issue number 62. Now I was a little perplexed because the corner here kind of has that starburst where they kind of did the still only 25 cents or still only 35 cents, but it says 40 cents. So I was wondering for a little bit if this is one of those price variants. But I started looking on eBay, and all of the copies that I see on eBay say 40 cents. But in a very odd move, the comic book on the Marvel app has 35 cents listed up in the corner as the price. So I'm not sure what the discrepancy is between what it really was, because I believe this isn't a price variant. I believe all of these were 40 cents, and why they posted that on the Marvel app, why they altered that, I'm not sure. This is also the final issue of the series too, but I think it's all the bright colors. It's an awesome cover. Like I said, every time I read a Volume 1 Captain Marvel book, I seem to really enjoy it. So why not add more into my collection? Just like copy 801 says, why not? So I did. Okay, I got a couple other books that I want to show you from this past weekend in part 1 of my haul. This is Daredevil, Volume 1, issue number 117. I'm really working on the run of Daredevil, where Black Widow was a guest star and then eventually becomes a co-headliner. Now at this point, she's still in the book, as you can see in the top, but it was for a while saying Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, and Black Widow. But by this time, they had removed her as a co-headliner in the title. But I'm trying to really complete that run, and I really do enjoy the stories from that era. Some good stuff that I missed out on because I didn't start buying these until, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago or so. Good reads. And for a while during this period, Daredevil and Black Widow were in California. This issue marks their return to New York City. And also, if you're wondering, the Marvel value stamp is in the book intact. I think it's the leader, if I'm not mistaken. The leader is the Marvel value stamp for this issue. But I checked and it's there. And one more Make Mine Marvel book I want to show you in part 1 of this haul. It's Fantastic Four number 220 with a very red John Byrne cover. I really enjoyed this era of Fantastic Four. Surprisingly, these books are still very affordable, and that does actually surprise me that they're still quite as affordable as they are. There is a retelling of their origin from FF number 1 that takes place in this issue, and I didn't know this until I got this home. The Avengers are guest stars in this issue as well, even though they're not depicted on the cover. All of that equals a whole bunch of wins for me, a whole bunch of things that make me happy in one comic book. With Fantastic Four Volume 1, issue number 220, and I know that this book and this cover has been homaged by other comic books. And I can see why. It's a good cover. So that's a rundown of the books that I picked up, at least part 1, this past weekend at this comic book show, Comicverse Convention, Comic and Toy Show in Madison. Next week, I'm going to show you the DC comic books that I picked up. And I have maybe roughly around the same amount. I should add, too, that I did buy 2 more Marvel books that I can't show you because they are A-OKs for a community member. So you'll just have to figure out who they're for and what books they were. Maybe they're for you. You never know. So if you didn't see the photo on Instagram, I had the great fortune at this event, which was really the deciding factor for me to head over to Madison, to meet my first YouTube comic book community member. And I always wondered, who is that going to be? Who am I going to get the chance to meet? And it turned out to be my friend. I've been on a live stream with him before, and now we had the chance to hang in person. Jimmy, the geek aficionado. We had the chance to meet this past weekend, and it was awesome. Jimmy was just like hanging with him on the live stream, only better because it was in person. But I mean, he was exactly the same as what I expected, and it didn't feel like a first-time face-to-face meeting. Maybe that's because we had hung out on a live stream before, but it just felt like we had hung out, hundreds if not thousands of times before, and it was so great to see him. He's such an awesome guy. I did put the link to his YouTube channel in the description for this video, so if you're not subbed to his channel, since we're getting ready to wrap up this video, make sure to head over there and do that once this video is wrapped up, and don't miss out on the content that he's creating. And he just recently at C2E2 got Wonder Woman Volume 1, issue number 9, which is the first appearance of Giganta, and that is awesome. So I want to congratulate for him. When he was on a live stream talking about this, every time you'd bring it up or show the book, I'm like, heart attack! And I was telling Jimmy, I'm like, you know what I call that video? And he's like, what? And I said, evidence. It's evidence that he's trying to kill me. But I had such a great time hanging with Jimmy, and I look forward to getting the opportunity to do that again. My first of what I hope is many encounters with you guys, the YouTube comic book community. So Jimmy, the geek aficionado, can vouch for me that I really am real. I'm a real boy. He's got my back, and he can prove it because he's met me. What a great time. So as I said, next week I'll show you the DC comic books that I picked up from this comic show in Madison. I'd love to know what comic book that I showed today was your favorite, and if you have any of these in your collection or not. Leave me a comment below, as your comments are always welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do that as well. Giving this video a thumbs up, sharing this video or sharing this channel with someone that you think might enjoy it is another awesome way to help show support and grow my channel. Couldn't do this without you, nor would I want to. Always want to make sure that you know that. Thanks for making it to the end of another Comic Book Editions video, and I'll see you with part 2 from this haul next week. Take care.